are live. As James Shannon says, he always says we are live. James Shannon says that. All right, everybody, as we always do, every Sunday from 6 to 8, we are live at WNAC. Welcome to Northwest Austin Council, where we say West Side people, talking about West Side issues right here on the West Side. And boy, do we have a lot of them. So feel free to jump in, y'all. What you say there, Arnold? DeAndre said that he's gonna be on, but he'll be on via remotely today. He had a slight headache, so hopefully he's feeling better. You know, he's gonna bring another letter from home. Right, he gotta bring a letter home. It's absentee letter from his mom, and he got to sign a letter like back in the old days. Remember that? Oh, yeah. How that used to be. You look at damn school, you gotta come back tomorrow with a letter. Yeah. You gotta have an excuse. I wonder they still do that. I would hope they would. I would hope so. I mean, it only was a check and balance system if you think about it, you know. Just to make sure the kid wasn't playing hooky and the parent knows. That was all it was for, to make sure that if that kid didn't bring a letter the next day, that meant, he never told his parent, or she never told her parent. And if the parent doesn't know that the kid wasn't here, they need to know. Yeah, back in the day, they did have a truant officer, but they don't have truant officers anymore. That's a thing of the past, as they say. Actually, that's been one of the issues or topics that people have been talking about for years. They've been asking, why don't we have truant officers? Why are the kids just hanging out at various times of the day? And I was told we don't have truant officers because, excuse me, y'all, it's because the telephones, the technology is taking over that place. And what they do is when they do roll call or attendance, if you're not on the attendance, they turn it in, it goes into the office by a certain time. The office prepares it, then it sends out like a robocall to all of the phones that they have listed. And someone said to me, well, it's possible that the kids could intercept the phone call. Well, it ain't possible because the parents most likely have a cell phone. And if you're working and you don't have a cell phone and you got a kid, shame on you. Because you really do need a cell phone when you're a working parent. I mean, there's just no way around that. If you got kids that are, especially in the high school, any age, you need a cell phone so that you can be reached at all times because you want, the concerns for your kids. So that, I think would be a little odd for a parent. I mean, just, unless financially you just don't have. But you can get a phone free. Don't they get government phones free? Okay, so there it is. So there's no such thing as not having a phone. So I'm going to have 2 or 3 of them. Right. There you go. So it's a done, doable deal, as we say. So people can't really say, well, I don't have a phone. I don't know what's going on with my kids. Well, you got to know what's going on. It's just the reality. They say it's all about the reality. And this is, again, we're just talking in regards to truancy in the school system. Issue shooting the police and a young man, Mr. Dexter Reed, that's been garnering a lot of conversation on the news, the media, Facebook,
live stream, you name it, media in general and social networking. So you want to hear what the callers have to say in regard to that concern.
Well,
that issue.
That's a big thing, man. That's just.
It's gone national and world as far as coverage. So let's get a lot of individuals take on that and how they feel and what suggestions, if any, that they might make as far as recommendations.
Right. Well, you know,
Police district council members held a meeting. My understanding has been reported there was a letter read at the 11th district council meeting attended by the alderman of 28th ward and maybe some other political figures, but the news broadcast showed him in attendance. And today he was on Channel 9 Politics. He gave his commentary about the concern.
mm-hmm.
Speaking of 28th Ward Alderman Jason Irvin, and you heard the governor make some comments. The mayor made some comments.
Right.
So, none that I've heard of Alderman of 29th Ward or other wards. I mean, he's supposed to be chairman of police and fire with Sally Farrell, So I guess individuals are waiting to hear his concerns, a former Chicago police officer as well. So, been the news, been talked about, and so I'd like to hear what others have to say in regards to their comments regarding that shooting that occurred. And there was a body cam because I think 4 officers were involved in that encounter. That's 3, 4, 5 officers.
Can you hear Ella?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
And just what individuals think about the sports stadium that's been proposed in negotiation with the city and the governor in regards to the use of taxpayers' dollars to subsidize some aspect of possible stadiums to be built and where has been reported, one on the lakefront as well as one that's known as the lot or plot of land downtown south of the loop, known as the 78. So it'd be interesting to hear their comments. Just what happened locally. Now that it's getting warm, Democratic convention, and people feel that there's enough coverage by the police districts in their community. The calls that may come from the local community, hopefully timely response. So we'll see. The callers, what do we have on out there?
So you got any comments to Arnold's I want to say his rebuttal?
No.
You know what he's talking about, right?
Well, I would just like to know, I would just like to know, are we gonna be able to afford to go to it?
Go to what? Just to clarify.
To the sports center. You talking about they talking about the sports center, right?
Yeah, the two, the Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Bears, the management owners thinking of having new stadiums built. And as been reported, couple $1 billion they would pay for and looking for additional funding via the subsidizing of these stadiums and anything else as it relates to their planned development, as it relates to their stadiums and the locations such as the Loop, South Loop property known as 78, as well as on the lakefront to the south of where the current stadium sits. They feel there's a tract of land there that may be in litigation by the friends of the lakefront of park, as they, remember they filed a lawsuit when it comes to the Obama library. So, again, if you're speaking of, will we be able to go to those facilities, it would be nice. So now, whether it's free accessibility to it or you have to pay the customer to get in there. So we won't know until we know. But Senate President Don Harmon of Oak Park, who's Speaker of the Senate and the governor, indicated that there doesn't seem to be any support for public tax dollars. People's tax dollars go towards new stadiums. Now, whether that's their, we don't know, because again, they have to vote on that if it comes before their legislative body, both city and state. So we don't know right now. So that's all the chat and talk that's going on.
Right.
Okay.
Are you talking about the Obama Center or Soldier Field?
Yeah, Soldier Field is where the Bears play, yeah. Right where it's located now, just if you just go immediately south of there, they're looking to build on that.
Right, they want to cover it.
Yeah,
they want to cover it.
Well, where the McNeil Hospital on the south side was located, some individuals or interests, I would say, is kind of offering up that site so as to not give up the site on the lakefront. These friends of the lakefront, or you might say a civic or social organization,
Right.
fought the building of the Obama library and
Someone was detected at your front door outside.
individuals. So two sites mentioned there, and then lastly, I'll say this. We may be looking at a combined stadium or facility that may be configured to have to do both football and baseball because the seasons vary, and through scheduling, maybe they can work it out. Then which may be located on the lakefront or in that 78 property.
I think that 78 property is gonna be a traffic jam. If you put
Well,
anything there, that's just too close to downtown and on the inside, So and how do you get off the expressway? The expressway is blocked away.
Well, they would put some money into
Changing the expressway. You got to make another expressway come right there. That's too much money.
Then you bring in the dollars. So they'll build like the Field of Dreams,
Yeah, I know. But I feel like my dream is becoming a nightmare when it comes to my tax dollars, spending all this money on all of that. And now you got to build an extra expressway to get by, right?
I'm not a sports fan
You
anyway,
gotta be
so I
if they
really
take your
don't
money.
care.
For example, Ms. Ella, you take the White Sox, and that stadium got subsidized. And there was attendance base that if the White Sox drew an attendance of 1 million individuals attended the ball game, then what they pay for rent versus less than a million attendees, it was less paid. So we know during that time the stocks were competitive, and so individuals paid to go watch the stocks, so their attendance went up 2-3 million people. Now,
Uh-huh.
the last couple of years, they've been lucky. If they drew 1 million people, that meant they paid less, which meant more tax dollars
To cover.
Yeah, because they have to maintain the space upon the tenant that's to cut while paying back the tax dollars and not.
Yeah, but my understanding was when they built the new Comiskey, that money from the state to build it.
Yeah, through the Illinois Sports Authority Board.
Okay.
They created, a body that financed that with certain contractual arrangements configured based on attendance.
So let's dive into that a little bit. So you take a private entity, that's a national sports team.
My sports team. I have money. I'm not broke.
Right.
If I can get the public to cover some of my costs for whatever reason, that's more potentially in savings on my stock from my business.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you just get the coverage? I mean, how do I say this? How do you get the public just to cover it willy-nilly, without the public making a vote on that or saying they will donate to it?
That's what our in the city, the alderman, the county commissioner, and with the state, your House of Representatives and your senators, they have to take the vote on that.
So again, they take a vote to fund,
which represent us.
which they represent us.
Yeah.
But when did sports have to do with the well-being of the body that they represent as far as the things that they need? I know we need food, shelter, housing, and maybe some transportation now, and clothes. But where did entertainment come in? You can live without entertainment.
True. But again, Chicago, big city, a world-class city, competitive in sports. I mean, it's all about the image and the selling of it. If, we have a competitive team in a certain sport category, hockey, basketball, football,
Yeah, but again,
college, well, the ball, they were so.
I can't hear you. What happened to the sound?
I said,
now,
yeah. I'm saying not only are we subsidizing taxpayers, I'm saying subsidizing private sports entities that are ticketed. Let's just say you can ticket also colleges also, but what am I trying to say? That are national teams. Why we got to subsidize any college, junior college, grammar school?
All I've got to say, if it comes to that, the legislative process is that we vote to elect representatives locally, county, and state. Okay? Now, a certain amount of dollars is needed for whatever function it is, sports in this case. Then they go to these bodies, the ownership, for whatever reason, simply to say, hey, I may not have all the money right now, but our city, our county, our state, from the people feel so good about this particular sports team and what about bragging, it's about competitiveness, it's about chemistry, you name it. The only way I can kind of get more people to support and attend and come to these games, I must have a larger, up-to-date stadium or facility.
So take a loan from a bank and build you one.
Well, they may very well do that on their own. Or they know it's easier, which has been proven in the past, to lobby your legislators, local, county, and state, and ask for their support for whatever amount of dollars it would need to build this facility.
Okay, so okay. I mentioned junior college, and grammar school. Junior college, that's okay. Colleges, not the colleges, because the colleges are not, those are private entities also. Well, so why are we funding private entities with taxpayer money? That's my question. Some people can't even use those private entities. The grammar schools I can't understand, the junior colleges I can't understand, but a lot of these colleges that are privately owned or whatever,
Right?
why are we building sports facilities? Not another building to help get more students properly educated, but we're going to build, oh, they need a better basketball court. What does that have to do with anything as far as the well-being and the social support that's needed for the taxpaying people?
So let me give you one good example. We've all just recently experienced it. A young lady played with ours, Kaylin Clark. They had their college. I'm just saying, even though we want to use this for example, you know the amount of money they were charging to attend a game. And even if it was a home game or an away game, it was off the chart. Now, she set all-time records as far as television. 18, 20 million people watched her play. And the young lady with LSU, well, the women for NCAA. So it's all branded, it's all marketing, it's all demand, because everybody likes to attend a game where they're winning. Take the Bulls, for example, they were winning all the time. They end up getting a new stadium eventually, and they could sell more, and so forth and so on. So demand certainly will drive the,
But again, the owners got deep pockets. Why aren't they using their money to fund their own private entity? I can't go and say, you know what? I don't need a bigger NAC to help the community. The government should give me the money so I can get a bigger NAC. And they should pay for everything. We need a basketball court too.
I don't know. Governor Pat Quinn indicated that there should be a petition, and therefore, what he's simply suggesting is that these legislative bodies of city, county, and state may have a role to play as to if them owners get any taxpayers dollars, certainly they would have to be the one on record to vote for it. Now, if you represent me and I'm against it, then you less likely to get my support. You follow me without talking to me and educate me on me and give me the reason why I should allow a private owner to get some of my tax dollars. You follow me? So it's a two-step.
So somebody getting paid off, that's what you're saying.
Well, I don't know if they're getting paid off, but I think the process starts with the people, the voters, or the residents, the taxpayers.
Okay, let me give you two examples.
Right.
The Bulls used to pay in the old, what was it, stadium,
Yeah.
Chicago Stadium. Then they got the United Center.
Yeah,
The United Center, I thought that was funded by the owners, no?
yeah, Ryan Dorf.
Okay, so that was funded by them. Okay, so then around about 1990, the same thing happened, 92, 93. The Kaminsky Park was built. Now I know that was funded by the state.
But Reinsdorf, to your point, was the owner of
Yeah, he is.
stock and over there.
And he still is.
He's a minority interest with the Black Hawks and all that. The Worth had the majority, so he was the driving force there in the bottle industry and all that. But Reinsdorf more so with the baseball.
And
he went through the Illinois Sports Authority Board.
but I thought Ryan Stewart also was involved with the Bulls.
Yeah, but he's a minor owner
With the Bulls?
with the board.
Oh, I thought he was always a
No.
major player in there.
Worth was the safe so that.
Okay.
Rocky was the late Worth, his son, I think died and anyway.
Right. So he owned three teams, partially, some way.
Yeah, them guys, yeah.
Okay, but he got money from the state to build the new Kaminsky Park.
At that time.
And they used eminent domain to remove people.
Yeah, well, what they did was they just simply built it right to the south of the location where the old.
Yeah, but there were people living there. There was some.
Yeah, I know, there's some projects over there.
Right.
Right by the.
Right.
Brother, what's the name? Slade? What's the name?
I don't know them.
It was a church is still there,
Oh.
over that house.
Thank goodness they didn't make the eminent domain to take over the church.
Well, they gave some perks and all that. I mean, all this is negotiated, give and take. That's all happens.
So let's just be real about this.
Mm-hmm.
It seems very apparent to me we don't have a say so about anything. Because first of all, they take money and they dump hundreds of millions to build that stadium. Hundreds of millions, maybe $500 million, maybe 300 million, 400 million, whatever, back in 93. And we had no say so about the state giving them that money.
Well, again, let me just say this for clarity. The elected officials represent us. When we vote them and elect them, that's our say so or our vote, whether we in agreement with them voting to give this money to these owners. Now, many of them would simply say, hey, give me some political coverage. They'll conduct meetings and all that. Take the temperature of the people who they represent in their district or ward before they don't make themselves stand out, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's some of them, not all of them. Some of them just go along and get along because they give some purpose. So it ain't all just one way, but I'm just saying. Process begins with the people and the elected officials who represent them. And then if they conduct town hall or ward meetings or district meetings to educate us and familiarize us with what's on the table, then that's a start. Some of them don't do it. They just figure that you elected me, I'm your speaker or spokesperson.
Right. But again, I think we still have no say so because when did this whole sports board thing pop up where, they just make decisions to give money to sports to anybody, or anything. But my other point is we have no say so because they come in, they build these mega facilities, they take taxpayer dollars to build them, and then they relocate and move people that have been living in these places by force or not by force, by eminent domain, which is what the government claims they have,
For trade quarter upheld municipalities in the domain.
which means they can take anything of yours at any time when they want. So, what kind of slaves are we?
Well, it doesn't mean much negotiation, and in other words, they say the first off is probably best off. So,
Now I'm just trying to figure out what kind of slaves are we? If we work, and we take our money and pay a good portion of that into taxes, because everything is tax, tax, tax. That's all you hear every day, every time you go to the store, every time you tax, buy money, don't get money. All IRS and federal and state taxes are due, so make sure everybody gets their stuff in tonight, or no later than what, tomorrow night, right? It's gotta be in the mail. Tuesday,
1201.
or Tuesday, I thought it was
Yeah, 15th is,
tomorrow, Monday.
oh, okay.
Yeah, Tuesday, honey, gonna keep people out of it.
I'm filing the 10th already.
Well, you better tell them too if they ain't done it already. So my point is, like I said, for all of this, we pay tax. We have no stay after we pay taxes and buy a property if they just want it. It looks real good to them, and we have to go. So what kind of slaves are we?
Well, under the Bear Park District, and,
Yeah, the Park District does.
property.
But the Park District just put, again, $250 million in the remodeling Soldier Field, and we didn't get a dome
Well, and see, it's
30-something years ago.
they're still under contract, I think, for 30,
Steve, what happened? I have no picture and I have no sound.
Y'all on, y'all broke the machine, man. What happened? How y'all break the machine, gang?
Yeah, something happened because I have no picture and no sound.
It just popped up. It's being live streamed. I don't know why I said that. We know it's live streamed. But how you feeling, man? DeAndre.
Oh, I'm still got a headache. So I'm just laying down pretty much. I took my mom to Hamada of Japan. So a little what's that? What they call them things?
Archie.
They call them yeah, hibachi. And I ain't like it. I mean, I ain't like because I mean, when you lose a lot of weight and you kind of change the way you eat, man, that stuff it don't hit the same. So I think ultimately that was the last stuff that I ate, and I think it woke up, had the runs, you know what I mean, woke up with a lot of chest congestion and headache. I took some Tylenol and laid down, but it never went away. So I mean, I still dealing with it right now, but I ain't finna keep taking no. I just rest it off, I suppose.
Well, I hope that's what it is. Just that, because I think something going around, man. I don't know what it is, but I think something going around when you said that. The runs and the headache. I've been hearing
I hope
people have.
I hope it's not blood pressure. You check your
Blood
blood
pressure?
pressure?
Nah, I don't think. I should probably check it, but no, I don't have high blood
Yeah,
pressure.
you should take it.
Hey, I'm in the check my blood pressure stage of the game. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I do every day.
DeAndre,
Yeah.
check your iron. Iron.
Wait, say it again.
Check your iron.
Iron
My iron?
content.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So what?
Since you're online, how about, I know you've been watching with that. I heard the 11th district had some commentary, held a very important community meeting in that district.
Yeah.
Great sister, what's her name?
Elise Edwards.
Elise, she was all on the news showing a smiley face as far as that effort over there. And
Yeah.
just tamper down emotions. So give us your take on that.
Yeah. Well, it's a real sad situation. Here's the deal. One of the things that I would have liked them not to do with Copa, see, they pushed the video out very quickly, 19 days as opposed to how long it's been in some other administrations. But by pushing it out so quick, all you can do is just kind of give reporting on what you know currently, and so there's a lot that has continued to come out in the aftermath, such as even just today, I think I was reading that the young man he had gotten shot about 2 years ago, and it was potentially a family member or something. It was according to what I was reading, he had gotten into an altercation and had gotten shot, and no police or anything were called. So I'm gonna assume that it was a family related domestic dispute, if you will. And from that, he had to rehab himself for a couple years, as well as he admittedly had PTSD and mental health issues suffered as a result of it. And so a lot of folks have been saying the narrative of this was like suicide by cop, you know. And you just honestly, stuff like this leads you to believe, well, maybe it was, if you look at the videos and things like that, you see what appears to be shots fired from the passenger window. towards the police officer. But again, until they do ballistics and all type of other investigatory practices, you won't know for sure. There's information coming out like he made a shot 11 times in the direction of police. But beyond that, that still doesn't remove culpability from the officers of the instigation and the practices or lack thereof that they actually took when engaging, such as, they did come toward him in an aggressive manner. They never shouted that they were police officers, which is something that they supposed to do. In fact, if they are to be executing procedural justice, they should have not only announced themselves as officers, but also told the reason why they were stopping him. That never happened during this altercation.
I don't think you want to use the word executing procedural justice.
Oh no, I didn't say execute. I said announce. They didn't announce themselves. And they didn't and maybe I did say execute procedural justice, but procedural justice more or less is just a framework in which they're supposed to communicate with you when making contact with you. So what that's supposed to be an approach in a professional and respectful manner that lets you know, especially when it's a traffic stop. See, that's the whole context behind this. This kid apparently, they are saying they saw him with a seatbelt off. So this is a traffic stop. So you shouldn't have approached as aggressive if this was a traffic stop. Now, if this was a crime in progress or something, now we understand you ain't finna go up to him knocking on the window saying, hey, I know you're involved in the crime right now. Can we have a conversation? Like, that's not realistic. So, but so in that way, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, the way that they hopefully are trained. But here's the other piece. Chicago police are woefully undertrained. They're not trained to deal with conflicts like this. As you can see from the way that everybody scattered in the video, there was no coordination. There was really no tactic that was going on with that. They just shot toward the young man's vehicle, and even when he got out the car, they continued to fire. And then when he hit the ground, he continued to fire. And, to unload those many shots, broad daylight on in a neighborhood that, potentially could have had civilians around the area is in and of itself, not a way that police officers should conduct themselves, especially if they had high levels of training. And so the unfortunate is, like I say, with all of the misinformation that's out there or lack of information from the medical examiner to the ballistics to fully understanding like what this kid might have been going through, or even having officer testimony of why they pulled them over and how come, one of the video footages show the kid driving in a direction and the police just kind of bust a left off of one way and jump in front of another car to get in his way and box him in. Why are they doing all of this? You know what I mean? So, man, it's so much. Overall, like I say, it's a sad thing. I think as district council people, we are focused on all of the situations that led to the outcome, which is again the pretextual stopping for a seatbelt, the way you approached, and then the aftermath in terms of the disproportionate response with having potentially shot 96 times in 41 seconds. So, that's where we at with it. I think, there are a large number of district council members who are advocates and activists. And so on last Tuesday, a few of them took that hat off and kind of got in the role of the advocate part, the activist part. And then that kind of led to a small little clash with police in the 11th district. So I think when you was talking about Elise and their meeting, that was just, a lot of the media was there to kind of understand what was going on with that situation, while also trying to get the thoughts of the district council and try to see what where we go with this thing next. So still a lot up in the air. Investigation still going. So the unfortunate is the whole story isn't being told yet, and then when the whole story is told, then I think we as counselors got to figure out how to move forward with that. And so that's kind of where we at with it.
In other words, we still in the weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right behind 11 District Station, and I received a call indicating that a lot of the residents didn't even come down the street or in the area due to that protest that was going on, and they were actually fighting amongst themselves and with the police over that. And I saw it on the news.
Yeah.
That kind of situation was taking place, actually chasing, and that was from protests for the police, and that was from protests against the police. They were flashed. Yeah, it was actually fights, man.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
told me, so
So what you mean fist fights?
yeah, they were fighting in the street.
Yeah, so they had so to start, and again I wasn't out there, but I was, I got the secondhand account with a lot of it. There was a couple white boys out there that was instigating. They, while the people were gathering and doing they whatever protest chants, the white boys was like, he shot the police first. So they, all right, man, all right, going on with that. We not here for that, so so they kept saying that, instigating and inciting the folks over there. So ultimately, that was a situation that popped off. And then I think on the police side, the young man's brother also pushed the officer, maybe swung on him or something like that. So then the officers, what I'm saying, got with him, and so.
Family, this Mosaic family. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
All right, family. Let me tell y'all. I'm the truth bearer. I bring that hard truth. I'm pretty sure this group of people, all in this space, we're all smart enough and educated enough to understand. We seen Tamir Rice. We seen Breonna Taylor. We've seen a lot of our brothers and sisters, George Floyd, regardless of their past transgressions. We've seen what happens when Mike Browns, when you really don't comply with the police officer. And you don't want to be dead right. You don't want to be dead right. So my thing is, there's multiple videos of African American, I like to say Black Americans getting pulled over by the cops. They have white people too, but showing the lack of respect for authority. That it wasn't nothing wrong with that boy. It wasn't nothing wrong with everybody in the hood got PTSD. Everybody's scared when they hear a firework go off or a gunshot go off. The problem is the Black community has no respect for authority. They parents, anybody telling them what to do. You ain't my mama. You ain't my daddy. You don't even listen to your mama or your daddy. If the officer tells you to, I don't give a damn what the police did. If they tell you to roll down your windows and you roll them up and your windows is tinted, like what do you expect to happen? Yes, the cops should be held at fault for what they did. They overkilled them. You shouldn't have overkilled them. You should have been a little bit more tactical with it. But at the end of the day, that young man caused his own demise. That's a grown man. You feel me? It's a lot of military people out here with PTSD too. Everybody in the Austin area, Southside Chicago, got PTSD. That's no excuse. When the police officer tell you to roll down your windows, and look at his priors led him to that. Like he was a criminal. And if it was me, and if I was a cop, and I told that man to roll his window down and he fidgeting, I would have domed him too. Probably would have shot him more.
Yeah, but whatever happened to, like, maybe Mosaic's a little touched in the head.
No, I don't care what's wrong with you. When I tell you to, I don't care what's wrong with you. When I tell you to roll that window down, you gonna listen. I don't care what's wrong with you. You can name all the syndromes and symptoms you want. I'm going upside that limit. I said roll the windows down. Or you want to roll them up? Or you want to play slow? I'm gonna bust your head.
Yeah,
that's it, Steve.
There are people that have, you know, ailments and illnesses that you know predicate. We shouldn't take advantage of that. We should be able to step back and say, wait a minute, this individual may not have all of the faculties that we understand to be best for others. We can't just go and take jump to the next conclusion. Like I said, they don't know that you fell down a flight of stairs when you were 3 and your head got a little touch and brought you to the state.
Well, you shouldn't be. Oh, you shouldn't be driving then.
The state. Well, come on now. You shouldn't be driving. I mean, if you pass that part of the test, you got that part going. You know,
if you could pass that test, you know what you're doing. I can't let this boy off. We can't do. We as Black people, the only way we're gonna be respected in this world, and if we start holding each other accountable for the things that we do. That boy had no bit. He know how to shoot guns. He know how to roll them blunts up. Ain't nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him. He know how to roll them blunts up. He know how to holler at women. He graduated, so ain't nothing wrong with him. You see, the boy graduated. Wasn't nothing wrong with him. He just didn't want to comply, and he had an attitude because he probably grew up listening to his mama all day, growing up listening to his mama yell and scream. So he yelling and screaming. You gotta put that into account too. It ain't just mentally ill. It's you're acting like a little woman, and acting like a woman to get you killed as a man. You ain't no woman, so that's why he got. That's it. I ain't saying he deserved to die, but hey, you play stupid games, you win stupid prize.
DeAndre, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is there a timeline rollout for the better knowledge to involve and any kind of shooting? I mean, I know they kind of learned some things procedurally or protocol-wise emanating from the Laquan McDonald shooting. Okay, so kind of touch a little on that as far as I know, because I heard that the lady that hit Copeland, this Kirsten lady,
Kirsten,
she rolled it out kind of sooner rather than later to let a certain maybe mindset set in as to kind of prejudice this shooting, if I may say, or people made up their mind based on and have not actually given the police superintendent has been reported time or someone time to have interviewed the officers also. To get their side of the story of what.
Yeah, so here's the thing with this, right? And I was encouraged that I should watch 16 Shots in the Cover-Up, the Showtime special that came out about Laquan McDonald, the Laquan McDonald aftermath. And basically, what folks were sharing with me that is when you watch that documentary, it shows you how thorough Chicago police are about getting their story straight, right? Like they have folks that come in and coach them up on what to say, how to say it, the presentation, put the bow on it and everything. And this isn't something that's unique to Chicago, it's across the country. And so one of the things about, and this is me speculating, but I would think in the aftermath of the Laquan McDonald shooting, that the civilian bodies are trying to move as fast as possible to review everything and get a report from their perspective before the officers come in and give another one, because you can imagine as soon as there's an officer involved shooting, they have a union person. That union person gonna be down there right alongside lawyers and everything else. So that's part of it. As it relates to the time frame, though, they have 30 to 60 days to release the video. And they, like I said, move fairly quickly on this one. I think from what I gather, it seems as though the superintendent and the mayor, wanted to try to get in. I don't even know if you want to call it get in front per se, but wanted to just make sure that the public uh, um, knew what this was, I guess, so that they could feel more confident in the bodies, the civilian oversight body, the mayor, as well as the superintendent, in terms of this transparency that they are, promoting. So I think that's probably the reason why it came out so early. But like I said, when you bring it out so early, you don't have enough opportunity to move with all of the other facets of everything. Now I was told that their their investigation should wrap by the end of the month, though. So by the end of the month, we should know everything that's needed to know. I would say even the information that I'm getting is coming from like FOIA information from the different newspapers, because we have a lot of new independent ground level newspapers that are doing a lot of that work to do some investigation. Like, for example, there's information out there that these same officers, this same TAC team, have been under investigation, like just in the last month or something, for this same issue, this unwarranted, potentially pretextual stop that led them to violating somebody's rights. And then there's other information still, again, I don't know if it's true or not, but one of the young people on the TAC, and when I say young, I mean he's 23 years old on the TAC team. And you think like, damn, should a young person that young be on TAC already? Like, yeah, you just got in the police force. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot there, But like I said, I do feel like they moved a little quickly. But I also understand, in the space for heightened transparency, the family wants to know what's going on. Mayor Johnson talked to the family as well as the police victim, and I guess the ultimate outcome was to try to make sure that everybody had the information so that they could examine it and move how they was gonna move with it. So, but yeah, 30 to 60 days ultimately is the time frame in which they try to get the videos out.
DeAndre,
Yeah.
this is Kim. I had a question. Do TAC teams usually pull people over for seatbelts though? I mean, do they what okay, let me back up. What is the primary job of a TAC team? What do they do? Because it just seems like that's a lot for a TAC team to pull somebody over because you didn't stop at a sign or you don't have on your seatbelt. So what is their job?
All right, so I was very wrong the other day. I was going back and forth with Mosaic about this, and I told him that they don't stop people for traffic stops, and I was wrong. Because I talked with one of the officers that I know, and he's like, well, yeah, all officers are traffic officers. I mean, any officer that sees you driving and you're in violation while moving, then yeah, they can stop you. So that's number one. TAC officers can stop you. TAC officers are typically in place to respond to more, how would you call it, like more dangerous or involved situations. So like the 11th district, for example, is one of our probably the number one most terrible district that we have in the city of Chicago. If not number one, they number two. They up there regardless. So there's quite a few roving TAC teams, and generally the TAC teams address issues, where there's like gang conflicts or violence that's happening. They may do some narcotic stuff if that's happening. Um, any type of criminal activities that are happening, you typically would have your tech respond to that. And tax too, because they are a car. If there are busy cars like blue and whites busy, then they'll send the tech to respond. So I mean, they're regular officers, just plainclothes officers, and that's all they as my guy put it, they're plain clothes, and but they, you know, they're a regular officer. They also have ticket books on them too, so if they need to write a ticket, you'll get a ticket from them. So.
Thank you.
Have
Y'all breaking up enough. Hello? Wait, y'all breaking up enough.
Is it open now?
Nah, you know what? Check the I was say check the iPad, I think, and make sure that you have it on the Verizon Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi might be you might got it on a different Wi-Fi. Yeah, but to your point though, Mosaic though. So the thing with mental health, so this mental health thing is becoming much more of a concern than it's ever been. And so what they've been trying to do is actually train officers in what they call crisis intervention training, CIT. So this is just crisis response for mental health individuals. But what happens is if let's just if somebody assumedly made a call, because again, that might be something that pops up during this investigation. If they don't tell the officers that this person may be struggling with a mental health issue, then they won't know how to proceed if they are CIT trained. And then the other way, if a person doesn't identify themselves as a person with mental health issues when approached, then the officers won't know how to. So it's this it's a real fine line, because, like you said, you could probably pick 10 people off the West Side, and 9 of them got PTSD or some type of mental health condition, and we don't have enough officers trained nor facilities that can help these people. And so we're running a real dangerous game right now. And then, not to mention, the mental health issues in our Chicago police office. They only have to go through one mental health evaluation, one what how you call it, like I suppose mental screening, if you will. One evaluation. That's what I'm trying to say. They only have to go through that one time. They don't get continuous mental health evaluations, despite all the stuff that they see. So, yeah, we running a
Yeah,
real
not
dangerous.
even our military though. Our military, like America, is bad with that, because our military don't even get taken care of during these wars. So,
Oh yeah, we running a dangerous
wars for
game.
sure.
Yeah, and it's becoming more prevalent, obviously, as the generations go on. I don't know. Yeah, hello, guys, Steven, y'all. Thought we heard y'all.
Everybody gone? Show
Man, they sleep.
Well, I'm still
Oh,
here.
that Tiny?
Yeah.
Hey, what's this picture you got up here, Tiny? That look pretty dope. What is that?
Those are the foundation year guys who went to college with me.
Oh, okay. Buddy has the buddy all the way on the far right. Look like my grandpa. Or I should say the far left. The one
Yeah.
on the real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's it. How he
DeAndre,
Go ahead.
DeAndre, Arnold had a question.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, the body cameras that being worn by the officer, tactical or not. When are those cameras activated? And why they talk about
So I only heard the first part, Arnold, that you went out for a long stretch of time. I just heard you say, when are the cameras supposed to be activated?
Yeah, they always on. And they get in that car and demo the camera working.
Someone was
All the
detected
time
at
they
your
show
front door
up is when they
outside.
Um, um, well, so I think the camera should be on when they're getting ready to engage. One of the things that they have,
Someone was at your front door outside.
I think, and this may be in their contract. So, because like when they're in their vehicle, talking, you, you know, I think it becomes a violation of their rights to speak freely if you have the camera running 20, like their whole shift or something. Not to say that they shouldn't be talking crazy, but at the same time, I mean, you know, like, so their cameras should be on anytime that there is an engagement. And if they don't have the cameras on during an engagement, they actually can get into trouble for that. That is definitely, a something that is hugely pushed. Like those cameras must be on and record the whatever confrontations or whatever. Okay, so they are to start once they exit the vehicle. Yep. Yeah.
That's it, that's all.
Yep. And if they don't, that's major trouble for them.
They don't like automatically come on?
No, I don't think so. I think they gotta turn them on.
How about when they pull up and stop the blue light blinking? And I've heard some also when they stop me, just say your tail light off. And by the way, they told me, well, we're being recorded. Not so much about the body camera, about a car. The front of the car supposed to have a camera on it that's recording.
Right. Yeah. Now the dash cam should always be recording. You should always that's something. I mean, because we as civilians can get a regular dash cam, and our dash cam could always be recording. And there's even some that record after hours. It's always going to be recording when you're in the car, but like I said, there are those that can record at night as well. But yeah, that dash cam will always be on. That should never go off. That if that goes off, then somebody physically turned that off.
Somebody went under the hood and disconnected the wire.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, why is it all of a sudden we're having all these issues? I mean, we've had issues with law enforcement. I mean, this ain't nothing new under Brandon Johnson, under Mayor Lori Lightfoot, under Rahm Emanuel, under Daley. We've had these issues. But it just seems like the way things are rolling out, it's always something with the police, and now we're talking about the SROs, and now we're talking about, these stops. What do they call them? Traffic stops, because they don't do stop and frisk anymore. I mean, what is going on?
We had 40,000 left, stops, check your, protection stops, whatever they use.
It's 40,000 less?
40,000 less than last year.
Really?
Yeah, that's what, again, that was reported today. And I read it online.
And why is it less?
Well,
Well-
they may have had a lot of heat now, so they're not gonna make these stops that they generally would make.
Yeah. Well, superintendent said that, he's committed to tapping down on them. In his last, he just had in fact, it was that Tuesday? No, Monday. Before the video was released, he was talking about the pretextual stops and how there are less, like Arnold just said, and it's a direct result of him making sure that they start to, cut back on doing them. Because, of course, what the statistics show is that they're predatory in nature. It's happening at a much higher clip to Black and brown communities, and they're not finding anything. And if they do, it's generally about 1% of the time that they actually find something. And then vice versa, though, when you're talking about, it was interesting, our white counterparts in the other community areas, when they stop them, they actually find more illegal, whether it's paraphernalia. I don't know about guns and all that stuff, because you rarely, I don't know. Look, I can't speak to that. But regardless, they find more illegal items at a higher clip when they stop our counterparts, though. But they stop them on a much smaller clip, though. So,
Right.
yeah, so it's interesting. But yeah, he did. I mean, he said he committed to it. Is the numbers, obviously, as Arnold said, show us. So that's pretty cool. But this is the tactic that they used since they stopped stop and frisk. It just replaced it, and it's still predatory in nature as well. So they're just gonna have to figure out just a new strategy in total. Yeah, I mean, it's what it's gonna have to be. So.
Yeah, but new means work, and work means it could be hard, and we don't do no hard work.
Yeah.
Well, in New York, I know, put the National Guard to work in the subway system and public transportation system.
It's a whole nother law enforcement level.
And I'm saying she activated, I'll put it like the National Guard. Yeah, police go first and all that, but at least their presence is.
No, I'm saying that they have the same, the impunity that they enforce by is totally different.
Right.
From police. I mean,
chance is you guys are the police or that just that they're law enforcement.
but again, not everybody. I'm saying.
But I think that's the point.
Well, I would hope.
Yeah.
People with I'm just gonna throw this out there. So what do we think about
Yep. What do we think about what happened? Hello? Hello?
that work in the school resource office, SRO?
Someone was detected at your front door outside.
DeAndre, you were saying?
Yeah,
Well, again,
what you said, the SROs?
yeah. I don't think people are aware of what's going on with the school resource officer situation right now. That's something that we visited a while back, and then it's been revisited several times since then, and there's no clarity on which way they're going. What I'm hearing is that they're talking about taking them all out. Is that true?
They voted them out.
All of them.
Yeah, they voted them out already. Yeah.
Who voted them out? City council?
School board,
School board?
yeah,
What school board? The current school board?
yeah. But there's a lawsuit will be filed in regards to usurping local school boards at the school level, because they empowered to provide a plan for the budget to pay for school resource officers. So you just come in and say, well, your authority is here, but, you know, so they hire and fire principals. So
there's no more school officers as of when?
starting the next,
Yeah. Well, we got an elected school board about to happen now, so half elected anyway.
But let's talk about that. So my understanding is Brandon Johnson, Mayor Johnson, is going to pick 10. Now, how did that come about?
and he's the 11th vote.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 11. I think, if I'm not mistaken, these first 6, I think it's gonna be 5. No, I think 6 is he's gonna appoint, and 5 is gonna get elected, and then in 2027, the other 6 will then be elected.
So is it 20 people, 30 people, 10 people? What? I'm not understanding.
21.
21.
Oh, it's gonna be 21.
Yeah, I think so. 10
I
now.
thought it was 11. Damn, 21 is a lot.
Okay, now let's go to the next question. I understand that the state has set up a mandate that these people get paid, and they're going to get paid very well.
Oh, I ain't hear that one yet. I'm looking it up though.
That's what I was told at a meeting the other day. That some guy, he said, "Look, man, I live in Maywood. I think I'm gonna move to the city because they get paid like 100-some thousand."
Them to be appointed by the mayor, and then another 10 will be in the next election by 2026, and then with one, obviously, odd number to break a tie.
And the odd number comes from where?
Well, you know, but here's the deal. The way they're doing it, many people feel that school board is pretty much
okay.
actual legislation. I mean, it's the legislators on record and was comfortable with it, but the timeline was up against them, so they went along with the new bill. That is, so think of it like this: they put them in districts. Who actually set up in a political system of elections set up to have representation, to have workers out and money as involved, just like running in ward race, alderman and all that. And so that was a concern that there was just a lot of inequity went into the actual rollout and planning. So if anybody get up, if I was an activist and all that, what's the chance be if they draw the district say you take the 5 black wards from the west side of District 1, and you have one person or individual run like we do in wards, run, race. What's gonna be the collaboration with other activists and organizations on my behalf in the election and the amount of money it takes? No, it favors the school board because they have teachers and all that, and pretty much that's what you're gonna have. I mean, this.
Oh, I didn't realize they start circulating petitions March 26th.
Yeah. With the election in November.
How many petitions they have to get?
1,000.
1,000.
Yeah, but you know the rule, you got to get at least 3 times as much. So
Yeah. Right.
It's almost like with the district council where they do the districts and then, with all the amount of money spent, ain't no.
What? No what?
I mean, it's favor. I mean, teacher union pretty much in the driver's seat, you might say, advocating for teachers because it's an interest to them to be in the teacher union, be at the bargaining table.
But I'm still confused on several things. Are they getting paid? Are they not getting paid? Are they getting paid a good premium pay?
Again, it hasn't been really communicated because I have yet to hear about any pay of any, other than they've grown the district. I mean, that's something we can get Miss Leonard on, Valerie Leonard.
Right.
We, reach out. DeAndre, what you think? Get her to come on. She was one, I think, had some opposition to the current law we were done and configured as the analysis on who better off as a result of this kind of alignment and interest that will benefit. It's not Arnold now. I'm just listening to a lot of commentary that I've read and heard.
Right.
Okay, and it favors the teacher union. No, well, they wrote their own law. Benefit.
Yeah.
Because they will be at the bargaining table, and if not this round, so with the amount of actual board members that will be configured, you can see them pretty much, got the gun up to the city's head, you might say.
Yeah.
What's been reported is if you a teacher with as much degrees and all that stuff, you had a base salary, as I was reading online, $90,000. In 4 years, your salary went up by $54,000 in 4 years, from 90 to 140 some thousand now, and you figure the tax dollars it's going to take to pay that kind of salary. So it's a lot.
Well, I don't know. I think the city has got a lot of challenges that's going on right now between these cases. And from this shooting that just happened, didn't you tell me another one had happened before somewhere in the same district, DeAndre?
In 11?
Right.
Yeah, I was telling you about the young kid last year. His name was somebody said they mute button won't unmute, but they put in the chat, we were pulled over by undercovers. The person driving was not wearing a seatbelt. Before they approached the car, we knew they were police officers. They had a vest on saying police. I'm like the man that said he should have just complied. Yeah, I mean, listen, I said the same thing. We live in Chicago. We know what the jump out boys are. We know ain't no white woman running up on nobody's car talking about let your window down if they ain't a
Girl
police.
Scout,
Huh?
Girl Scout cookies. Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, on the real. Nah, I was saying the young man actually has a press conference tomorrow for his family. He was Reginald what's his last name? Why am I blanking? I can't think of his name. Reginald Clay Jr. He was a young man in the 11th district. This was last year. This was right before we took office, but he now apparently the officers approached him and they he ran, so they started chasing him, and when they did, he ran in like a gangway, and when he turned around, he had a pistol on him, so he turned around and caught himself lifting the pistol out, in an apparent attempt to place the pistol on the porch or something that was right next to him. But of course, he done whipped the pistol out. So soon as he did that, the officer shot him. So that family is still trying to I don't how you call it, like they're looking for justice because they're saying that he was wrongfully killed as well. So, but the 11th district just has a history with their tag team and just the police response in general.
Where Antonio LeGrier died when they said that he was inside his yard and he was wielding a baseball bat when he arrived at the scene, and he had some mental health issues. They also killed the lady named Rosie that lived in the house. She didn't even live in that she lived in another apartment. And they shot so many times that it went through the house and it killed her.
That's where Ray was grand nephew lost his life at in the 11th district. I mean, yeah, it's bad over there. It's bad over there.
Okay, where is the 11th district?
Kids in Harrison.
Oh, okay.
But they go all the way up to Cicero. I mean,
okay.
On the west end, Cicero. Then on the east end, what would you say, DeAndre? I don't know.
The east end is roughly, I want to say it's right up against Western. If it's not Western, maybe just like a block or two before Western, but it is fairly expensive. In some spaces, it's like Western. In other spaces, it goes to Kedzie. Because I remember the 12th district is right at Kedzie, too.
No, you can't say Kedzie because Kedzie, well, yeah.
Kedzie, like Kedzie, like Lake Street. Like when you go to Kedzie and Lake Street, it stops right there. Then the 12th district has a piece of that.
Where's the 12th district located?
The 12th district is a little bit more north, so it's like Kedzie and Lake, and then it starts to go up.
Now, where's the actual?
I don't remember what their east boundary is, but their west boundary is Kedzie.
No, where's the location of the police station?
On Racine and
Right. Oh, okay. Yep. What Arnold was just saying, like Racine. Yep.
Pilsen?
No. It's
No Village?
What Juketown is.
What?
Yeah, it's on 15th. It's on 15th and Racine.
Really?
Yeah. Right where the railroad track is.
Right.
Going down.
Oh, back there, the old police district used to be over there, but Juketown. Yeah.
Right where you're going over Newberry Center in that area. In my old neighborhood, I grew up in.
What they call that? The Village?
The Village, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's what 12 to 11 is, like I said.
And 10 is on Ogden.
On Ogden, yeah.
And does 10 go all the way up to Douglas Boulevard?
Yeah.
It does?
No,
or does 11 go up to Douglas?
No, I'm thinking of Douglas Park.
No, I'm thinking Boulevard.
Douglas Boulevard.
It probably separates 10 and 11. Right there.
It's interesting you asked that.
Yeah,
because
10 is the one on Ogden, and that one goes from Roosevelt south.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 12, like Arnold was saying though, is over there, like near the ABA homes or whatever that's called.
Avila Homes.
Village.
There you go. Yeah,
Village, yeah.
that's what 12 is. But they go all the way over to
Here's
like
the area they call Germ City. What they call it? Germ City? Juketown. No, that was not Juketown. They said it was in between Western and Ashland, off of Roosevelt, back up in there. They call it Germ City. Or just something.
Well, 12 districts service that area.
Yeah. It's funny how these communities over the decades have changed so much.
But DeAndre, you got a district that you could sleep in, those times. I mean, it's made just like a box.
Yeah.
Square box.
15 district is relative.
oh man, yeah, listen, we got the perfect district.
Yeah.
For real. For real. But it's so crazy for it to be so small. It covers so much area though,
Yeah. And you're bordered by what, 3 suburbs or 2 suburbs?
2. I mean, you could say Berwyn, yeah, but Cicero really, but you could say Cicero, Oak Park, and Berwyn. You could say, because we definitely get some of that Berwyn issues.
Further west. It doesn't come. Berwyn doesn't start at Austin, does it?
He's
got Berwyn is. You know what?
Off the street, right where that slot place is. That's Berwyn. Starts right.
Right. I would say, you know what? Yeah, Berwyn, because Cicero is.
Austin Roosevelt. That's the 4 corners.
Okay, so it is 4.
Yeah. Yep. It is. Yep. I got Cicero, Berwyn, Oak Park, and then Chicago, right at the 4 corners of Roosevelt. Yep.
You never see Berwyn police over there. You never see.
No, I don't. I never do. No, for real, I really don't.
Do you even see Chicago police over there?
I mean, yeah, no. A lot of the people over here on the island complain about not seeing police.
I've seen Oak Park police right up in there, but I've never seen Cicero, Berwyn, and very seldom in decades Chicago police.
Well, a lot of the older parents that was considered the island over there, you had a lot of cities working on that
right.
plot of land. That was like a segregated area on the west side.
But you know what? Wherever there's four different communities or cities or towns, you don't see all of the police there. Like the 4 corners was River Forest, Oak Park, Elmwood Park in Chicago, or Galewood meet. You don't see, only police I ever see is the Elmwood Park at the Walgreens, and very seldom the River Forest police. Used to be the River Forest back in the day. They would sit in that gas station and right around there, but they don't. River Forest is not on that corner anymore. Oak Park is never on that corner. Chicago is never on that corner. Elmwood Park is on that corner because of their Walgreens. Yeah. And there's some things that have been happening there, but that I don't know if they call each other and say, we got this, we're gonna hold this down for a year or so.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that I was looking at the comment. The person in the comment on the iPhone was saying that we just got to comply, and I'm in agreement. I think that's why we, at NAC, we try to do these know your rights, man, and we try to get people to understand, like, yeah, you could just comply, but there's also certain facets of the interaction that we could learn, as Mosaic was saying, like, if a police officer approaches you and asks you to do something, unfortunately, you can sit there and mouth off and get yourself in a lot more trouble than what potentially might be had for the stop. But at the end of the day, you comply. You do, but there's also certain facets in which if you feel like you're being violated, that you could do as well. So I was telling him,
Front door outside.
I was saying like, if a police officer approaches you, and let's just say, like, number one, you're supposed to roll your windows down. They got to be able to look in the car for their own safety. So you got to roll your windows down. You got to present your insurance and your license, regardless of how you feel. But again, with the procedural justice element, they're supposed to approach in a respectful manner and let you know what they're stopping you for. Then they ask you for your stuff. But then if they come back and
Mute. I don't know why it won't. I can't hear you. DeAndre, unmute yourself.
oh no, I was saying like in the terms of an interaction, I was saying like police supposed to approach with procedural justice, but when they approach, you're supposed to roll all the windows down because it's for their safety. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you roll the windows down. There's with procedural justice, they supposed to approach you with respect and tell you what the issue is that they're stopping you for. Then they're gonna ask for your information. You give it to them. You already should have it at the ready. You give it to them, and then if they come back and say, "Well, can you step out the vehicle?" You can say, "Do you have your camera roller?" Because you have to step out the vehicle. Ain't no like there is no fighting that piece. If a police officer actually step out your vehicle, you have to step out the vehicle. But you can also go and say, I do not consent to a search. And if they search your car, if it's on camera, now you have the legal authority to take them to court and say that this was an unlawful stop. And if they did find anything during that search, then it would be thrown out because it's illegal. And stuff like that is important to know because this stuff happens all the time. And so I think, we with NAC going to continue to have these know your rights, but we just need folks to come on out and be educated. That's all. Like, I think that's the biggest challenge of our community is the lack of education in terms of, all of the systems, so to speak. We have to be proficient in the systems that are above us because obviously, just being born with black skin, we had a disadvantage. But you equal the playing field when you understand how they're using the systems against you. And that's something, for whatever reason, I feel like we just don't want to acknowledge or don't want to become more proficient in, but we need to. And, there's no change in that. It's just something that has to happen.
Yeah, I like to hear you say that. Because I remember a few times, and this is kind of going a little bit off topic, but when you said about racism, you like your racism overt instead of covert. And I said, you don't know until you experience overt racism. You just don't know it. And the reason I say that is it's kind of like in the same stream that you're talking now. Man, you just better know better know your place. That's when you in overt racist situations, you better know your place. And that's it, that's all. Ain't no laws or nothing around it, but
Right now, I see that.
Is it accepted a photocopy of your driver license and with your insurance that you can show them on your smartphone or Android phone?
You know what? That's a good question. I generally have my insurance pulled up on the phone. So the insurance is cool. I've never had an issue with that. Never. But the phone thing, I mean, your ID might be different, but I mean, at the end of the day, all they doing is going back and running the numbers. So if the numbers check out, they should be able to tell who you are and if you're suspended and anything else in between. So I don't think that should be too much of an issue. But like I said, to the point, I only
worry about that. A guy I knew now, this was a while ago. He took somebody else's. He has their driver's license number.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to be a guy, roughly the same. And the police pulled him over. He said, "Man, I don't have my license, but I got the number." He gave him the number, but it wasn't him.
Okay.
and the police ran in and wrote the ticket to the guy that wasn't even,
Oh man, see, he messing it up for everybody.
police.
Yeah, see, yeah, no, so when Arnold was saying digital, I'm thinking he's saying having your picture on your phone. Like, for example, I got a picture of my ID on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Just to have it. And so
But the problem with that, Arnold, they can't authenticate it. See, with the actual driver's license, they got that hologram in it. So they can authenticate.
So
Yeah.
they get their car license plates and all that, and they see and they look at you and they see.
No, not really, because you can, if you got it on your phone, you could Jimmy rig that.
I get that,
but they can't authenticate that. You got so you got my driver's license number, but you put your face on the picture on the phone, and it, and the plates go to my car, go to my name and my driver's license. Like the guy that I told you, they did that before. He just said, I got the, officer, I want to help you and comply. I know my number. I left my driver. He said, give me the number. Ran the number, wasn't even him. And the guy told me, he said, man, I got to wait for that clown.
I keep mine in the cloud.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I'm gonna go ahead on the limb and say that they wouldn't accept it, and I think for reasons like you said. So even if you probably had to join on your phone, and I ain't got but I do got it right here, they probably be like, nah, that's not good enough though. We'd have had people. They probably gonna reference what you talking about, Steve. They go, nah, we done had people use other people's name. We good. If you don't got it, then you driving illegally. Then you'll be mad. Like, come on, man.
Hey, wait, let's go one step further. I know people that don't even drive, but they doing criminal stuff on the street, and the police catch them on the streets, and they give somebody else's social security number and name. Then when they go down, they get them booked as that. Not even matching fingerprints or whatever, because they done went in on somebody else's fingerprint, name, and social security number. Courts coming around, that person driving around in the car, they get pulled over, the car goes, oh, you got warrants. What do you mean got warrants? I ain't done nothing but work. I work for the court system. Nope, you got warrants. Come on, let's go.
Oh, no, that's kind of crazy.
No, all it takes is somebody in your family knowing your name and knowing your social security number. And they get away with that crap.
Nah, that's true.
Yeah, my stuff come out on the dark web, so the mom.
You see on the dark web.
I'll be on them credit bureaus and banks and everything.
No, man. Yeah, I just think we got so much to tackle, but it could be done because let's be real about this. What kept our city safe before? And I'm going to go back to what I said on the last show. 1999, the federal government lifted the assault weapons ban, which allowed a slew of machine guns to be acquired by anybody that wanted them.
Right.
And I'm just going to use the AK-47, which is typically the weapon of choice by every mercenary group in the world.
Yeah.
Every pseudo army, every major army, every hunter uses that weapon. Okay, that happened. Then the next thing happened shortly after that in Illinois was we have no death penalty. What does that mean? Well, people kind of on death row, they no longer have to be on death row. They got to do some time, but they ain't gonna be killed. The other thing is, people out here that are committing crimes are saying, well, if I kill somebody, I won't die for it because ain't no death row in Illinois.
Right.
Next thing happens, that happened around, 2000, I think, no death row. The next thing popped up was, 10, 15 years ago? Concealed carry in the city of Chicago. Or the state? Or the city? Because I know the city, you couldn't even own a weapon in the city prior to that. Unless you were a hunter or you had some kind of special license to have the weapon in the city of Chicago.
Concealed and carry federal.
It's federal? So every state doesn't have concealed carry if it's federal.
No, I mean, they apply, you know, with the process you apply, they do background checks.
No, but I'm saying,
Oh, you
what,
mean,
what, what,
how do you?
what lawmaking body allowed this to happen in the city of Chicago? Was
Let's
it the city alderman? Was it the state? It definitely wasn't the federal government.
Well, state supersedes city and county. So it has to be state.
Okay, so the state says we have concealed carry throughout the state,
Yeah.
which means city of Chicago, you can carry it because back in the day, again, you couldn't even own a weapon in the city of Chicago. Unless it was a hunting weapon, you had to have a special license and a board and all the others, but nothing was concealed.
Home rule allows Chicago to make decisions affecting Chicago, taxing and everything.
So why didn't they opt out?
But they cannot, change state law.
Oh,
State over, you know.
so there's no home rule when the state legislation is
Right,
placed.
state is the state. No, where state interest is anything involving the whole state, north, south, east, west.
Okay.
Whatever, legislators, representatives and senators come up with the governor sign on to it, that's it. That's the law of that state.
Okay. So let's look at those things. So you get the new federal uplifting or allowing everybody to buy machine guns because the assault weapons ban was lifted. So now here you got a person that knows that. Well, I want to get an AK-47, but I want to have a concealed carry on it. But you can't because it's a rifle, a high-powered, very bad rifle in many cases. So what do? They get the pistol grip one. So it's legal to carry the pistol grip one as long as you have that wristband thing tied to it. But now they're gonna conceal carry the pistol grip AK because it's one of those assault weapons that was on the ban by the federal government until 99, 2000, it was lifted. Now I got that because I can carry a concealed weapon. And guess what? If I shoot somebody and kill them, I ain't getting a death penalty because there ain't no death penalty in Illinois. So those three things that are stacked up. The fourth thing that's stacked up is, guess what? We got legalized marijuana, which, okay, legalized marijuana, whatever. People say marijuana make you mellow, it don't make you go do stupid stuff.
Medicinal marijuana.
It's only medicinal, that's what it is? Okay, so there you go. It just said, what?
It's clean when you go through the stores. It's dirty on the street.
Okay, my point. So on the street, they're not being stopped for having marijuana. If you get stopped, you're supposed to get a ticket, but the ticket, it takes too much trouble to get the ticket because it's a state ticket, which means that they got to have a special officer come out, write the ticket. You have to wait for them to come over and do it. You got to detain the person until they want to come over and do it, and they just said, the heck with it, we ain't doing it.
And they would have to test it to see if it's medicinal or
Exactly.
or not.
Exactly.
And some are medical if they have a card. Doctors give their patients cards as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Which goes to my fifth point. The stuff because there ain't nobody buying the medicinal. They just smoking weed because they ain't going to jail. They ain't going to get a ticket. Once they get stopped, there ain't much going to happen. But nobody's checking the weed to see what they're lacing it with, what it's tainted with. And the stuff that's tainted in this weed out here is way more crazier than making somebody mellow out.
Kill you.
Not just kill you, have them wilding out.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go to the sixth point. The sixth point is, what do we just got? No cash bail. So let's add this all up. I could get an assault weapon that was banned for over 10, 15 years in America, when people thought the people didn't used to get assault weapons in the 70s, in the 60s, in the 50s. It just started up in the 80s. They were, I want me a machine gun, like Terminator and all, Okay, whatever. So now you can get one of those. making sure that it's a pistol grip one, so you can conceal carry it, as long as you got the strap on your arm and the barrel is within a certain range, and you don't have you can have a banana clip, but you can't have it fully automated. I don't know how you concealing that in your pants on a clip. I mean, on a what do you call it, a holster, but they do. And guess what? If I shoot somebody and I hopefully don't kill them, but I maim them a little bit, I won't get nothing but no cash bail. I can get out on that one. And if I was smoking some real tainted weed behind that made me do this dumb stuff.
Okay, you remember the police detective that killed the lady out in the suburbs, gentleman that was on?
No,
Some kind of weed or something.
really?
He got out on bond.
Wow. And that was a policeman.
That was a police thing.
My point.
Okay, he running just.
Right.
And they had to go.
I can get a no cash bail, knowing in my mind I ain't gonna get the death penalty because they ain't got no death penalty, and I can't get that assault weapon that was typically on the books as you cannot touch because the federal government said you couldn't up until 99, 2000, and we got legalized marijuana, but most people ain't even using it. They're using the tainted stuff on the street because ain't nobody enforcing it.
And the people of that community was highly upset because there's a gentleman who killed a peace officer.
Right.
Killed her and then walked. Bail or no bail, but walk.
All I know is we're dealing with a lot of compound things, and we wonder why we're having the issues. And we're talking about laws that are affecting us. We haven't even gotten to policies by the police department. Oh, we ain't chasing that guy. He went over 15 miles an hour. You go past 15 miles an hour. If I can't chase him by foot in a car, I can't chase him with my car. So let them just go head on. Then they go. Then the other things. Well, you know, they're only such and such age. You got to bring them in, and then we got to let them go. You know. Oh wait, they're not smoking municipal.
The young black man. Mother that was on news just won a $40 million settlement from the city of Chicago for that very reason.
What's that?
Police change.
Really?
The guy just completely, he don't even know where he's at now.
Right.
Kid lived, the young man lived.
Right.
Promising they showed a picture of him before, and now,
right.
His mom got to take care of him the rest of his life. $40 million settlement.
It's craziness. That's what I'm saying. So all of these things. Other thing I just heard was that something to the effect of the young kids being how do I put it? Once they get caught with these stolen vehicles, they get right back out, and they go back and do it again. So I'm like, there's nothing in place that says this is a super felony or something. Well, you get right back out and go get another stolen car and do some more. So we're talking about policies on top of laws that have just been revoked or put in place that just are part of the system that we don't even understand. Now I just totally don't understand what happened with the school resource officer. A teacher brought this to my attention today and said they're gonna get rid of the school resource officer. I said, no, we've been talking about this since 2020 when Brandon Johnson was a commissioner. He sat here at Northwest Austin Council with me, DeAndre, Carl Brinson, Dwayne Truss, and a bunch of younger people that were with a group called Good Kids, Bad City that were against the school resource officers back in 2020. And we couldn't come to an agreement on the kids knew what they wanted. They wanted to eliminate the school resource officers at their school and bring in social workers and psychologists to help them with their families and themselves in the school. And they said they're fine with the regular police, not police officers, but the school security guards that come from the community. They're fine with those. They just don't like having the people in there that's highly weaponized, around them. But here we are, 5 years later, almost, talking about the same thing with the same guy that's in charge now. He was just a commissioner when he was sitting in on this.
So you're gonna have a lot of citizen arrests in the public school system because under the Constitution, a peace officer or a law enforcement officer can only make arrest. Now, there's a process or protocol for citizen arrest. But I wouldn't want to be tied up in litigation in regards to
which that's gonna be
who
coming.
has the authority to arrest whom and for what reason.
That's gonna be another thing, because look at what happened on the news yesterday. The kids at some Southside schools, the teacher played a game, put the duct tape on your mouth so we could see how long you could be quiet so the next person can do the spelling bee. Well, they turned around and said, what game was this that you got to put duct tape on my kid's mouth? And there ain't no game. You know, you're doing things that are just unruly and wrong. So there's gonna be a lot to come out of much of this. But hey, all y'all out there, we at the top of the hour. Anybody got anything that they like to add to the show today? Feel free to add it now. How about you, Barry? How about you, Ella?
Anybody new?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Barry. They can unmute themselves. Go ahead. You got anything?
Yeah, I've been thinking about what you all have been saying, and what occurs to me is that we need to come back to combining all this really sophisticated, technical, complex issues in situations, along with local, simple, old ways of doing things. Because there are so many problems and they're not getting solved. But on in your own life, you do the best you can, and you solve it as best as you can, and that's your life. So I think we need to get rebalanced and get, these simpler ways of doing things. That's it, folks.
Yeah, okay. How about you, Ella?
Well, I was thinking about the comment regarding police stopping black men and killing them. First of all, everybody has mother wit. That's common sense. You evaluate, you weigh your situation, and this man has a gun. He has a legal right to kill you. So why are you going to challenge him or mess with his ego? Just do what you got to do. Let me get the hell away from you alive. That's all that matters. Because it's only fools who want to challenge the police knowing that they angry white men. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Sounds like a good one. How about you? Who else we got? I can't tell. Who else we got, DeAndre? Anyway, what about you, DeAndre? Or no, Tiny. No, Tiny.
Yeah.
Let Tiny.
Yeah. Now I agree with Ella. The guy's got a gun, and he can lawfully kill you. So you got to think about that when something like that happens. But I think we need more training in how you react to police when it's a stop.
Yeah, we get the training. People just need to come and get it. Okay, who we got on iPhone? iPhone. Who we have on iPhone? All right. Kim, you have anything in conclusion?
We need to be more careful who we hire and allow to be police.
Yeah.
There needs to be immense they need to go through something like if you're working for the CIA or the FBI or something, because it just seems as though I'm not sure what we're hiring. That's about it. Have a great week.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
they just to piggyback off that, it's more or less it's ongoing, it's ongoing training, but it's also ongoing evaluation too. Police officers is definitely one of those jobs. The longer you're on, the more cynical you become. One of the officers wrote a book. What is it called? I can't remember. But this was a book that I was actually tasked with making sure that the officers were familiar with, because it talks about the realities of being an officer and how the longer you are an officer, the further away from humanity you get, in the sense that everybody becomes a criminal. Like, you can't even go out on a regular Saturday without thinking something's gonna happen, and it becomes this how would you call it? Like, it becomes a I would say almost like a burden, if you will, because you always in the mindset that some someone is going to do something that you're going to have to police, and that leads you to not getting a lot of joy out of life. That leads you to have a heightened level of stress response. That leads to all type of mental health related issues, and it's a very real thing for that type of profession. And I don't, like I said, as I mentioned, mental health. We haven't gotten to a space where these folks are evaluated more than once, whether it's per year or just when they get hired. We have to do better with that. But like I said, in terms of training, they definitely need to get better trained. I mean, our consent decree, which outlines that should happen, has only a 6% completion rate. We've been on the consent decree since 2018, maybe 2019, and so far we've only got like I say, 4% completion rate. Yet we've paid the independent monitor and her team $14 million. That's taxpayer money.
Right.
And this consent decree is going to last for another at least 3 more years. And so, I mean, that's one of the things. So I say all that to say, the 15th district, our next meeting, actually, we're going to have the independent monitor herself. Maggie Hickey is going to come and talk to us about the consent decree and where we at with things, and hopefully why we have yet to reach any real accomplishment with it, because we have been under it since for about 5 years now, and we were supposed to be actually coming up from under it now. And the things that they have had the issues with, the community engagement, the training, and all of that stuff is still yet to be fulfilled. So, but these are stuff we got to educate ourselves on. Like, we got to, that's my mission as a district counselor, in these these 3 years that we got remaining in this position, is to make sure that we come out with a community that's highly educated on the system of policing, and they understand all the different facets, so that we can start to understand where we are able to make decisions that aren't life-threatening for ourselves. But, we'll get there.
No, but I'm glad you brought it up, because that whole consent decree came out of Obama's camp when Eric Holder was the Department of Justice. What do you call it? What was his position?
Attorney General.
Attorney General's, right. That all came down on the focus of Chicago. Why are we having all the issues and problems we've been having? And it's just funny that you said only 4% of that has been accomplished.
Well, there was talk of extended for 10 years. That, like DeAndre just mentioned, 3 years it would run out, but there's talk of going back and negotiating with the Department of Justice for extension to be 10 years.
Right.
Behind this shooting that just occurred. They made
Man, see, and that's a waste of our money right there. That's where that when I say educate, so that we can go and be active and like hell no, hell no.
Biden wins re-election.
10 years, come on, man.
Right. Yeah, another so many millions of dollars. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Damn, the force already changing. You know, like the police tout the fact that they have a younger police force, which they're being trained in community policing, so we'll have a different response. But it's like the same stuff keep happening. Like I said, even the youngest person on the TAC team was 23. So obviously the young people ain't grasping it either. So what we doing?
Right. I don't know. We gotta do something better, I tell you that. All right, y'all. As you want to close your side, all I gotta say is, look, we gotta get something better than what we're doing, y'all, because it seems like when I heard that 4%, I'm like 4%, and we've been doing this since Obama had implicated, or not implicated, but what do you call it? Instrumented it? Or
yeah, implemented it.
Implement.
Yeah, it's like either 4 or 6%, but regardless, still it's very low. Regardless,
nothing. The needle hasn't been moved. The dial hasn't been moved, and we have problems every day. We see them. My question is, why is it always happening in the black community when crime is all over the city now? Why is that part from law enforcement side always in the black community, but when crime is all over the city? But I don't know. Yeah, you know. But what you got anything on in conclusion?
no, just it's why it's going to be very important that people come out and vote. And if the consent decree will be extended beyond the 3 years when it is projected to end, and there's talk of extending now because of these shootings. You go back to the Kwame Donald and now the Reed and others potentially, if they occur or not, but just the fact that it's not over, as much as they plan and they implement and think positive about the plans, it's still happening. So training, that you'll just have to get used to it. And again, it all depends again on who in the White House, because they can't implement it unless you have that Attorney General for the United States, in the process of getting it done, or judicial.
Someone was detected at your front door outside.
Somebody in that wrong, So anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm just waiting to see what develops after the investigation.
That's it. We got Tiny. Did Tiny speak? Did Tiny say something? Thought he did.
Yeah, I did, but again, that's good being on like-minded people and keep up the good work.
All right. Okay then, DeAndre, if you want to take us out, you could do so.
Don't forget to bring your letter next Sunday, DeAndre. See that.
Your letter from your mama saying your absentee. Go ahead, D. Take us out. Mosaic,
oh man, I had already started saying it. I was on mute. No, I was saying, y'all know how we do every Sunday between hours 6 and 8. We bring you to Northwest Austin Council. We got various ways you can interact with the show: Facebook, YouTube, but Zoom. It's really up to you. The way you choose. If you on that Zoom, you writing the show, you come off mute, man, have a discussion with us. If you on that Facebook or that YouTube, type it in. We see the comments and you can interact with us that way. Either way, just continue to share the show. 3 years in, still going on, and making sure we try to educate and enlighten people on what's going on in the community and sometimes around the world. So share the show. Don't be selfish. Share the show. Anyway, we'll see y'all next week. And like
every
I always
leader
like to
on the
say,
block. No, I was gonna say every leader on the block should let somebody on the block know it affects them. They need to know what we're doing. All right.
absolutely. And like I like to say at closing, we got open seats at the table. We just trying to welcome y'all on home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Salsa Council.
So,
Have a good night.
Good night, all. Later.
Good
God
night.
bless you.
Night.
Miss Jacobs didn't get on tonight, huh?
No, there was no. I forgot to. Maybe I forgot to let him know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the census thing.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
Night. All right, very nice.
All right, Barry.